Welcome to Danish-InfoNews TV, your Danish English news. Here are the latest news headlines. On some of today's most pressing stories, Rema 1000 fined for filthy food storage. Police warn of bank card scams, and a jeweler charged with laundering 55 million kroner. Stay tuned for more. Welcome and stay tuned for more news. We begin on Wednesday, 13th of August. Rema 1000 in Roskilde fined and given a sour smiley. A Rema 1000 in Roskilde is fined 1,500 Danish kroner and receives a sour smiley by the Danish Veterinary and Food Administration, as the store was visited on 4th of August. Ekstrabladet reports that during the inspection, dried yellow and white stains from spilled dairy products were found under milk carts, as well as they also found fresh and dried meat juices spilled on and under some bags in a meat cooler. On another case, police warns of increase in Dancord and pin fraud. Mid and West Zealand police reports many elderly citizens being tricked into handing over their Dancord and PIN to people pretending to be officers of the law. The police reports that the incident is mainly in the Greve area and urge citizens to be cautious. Now to Thursday, 14th of August. Man recruited white couriers from prison via Facebook. Akin Selgan has been sentenced to 7 years and 6 months in prison for playing a coordinating and leading role in recruiting white couriers as he was serving a sentence in Fredriksson arrest last year. He recruited the couriers on Facebook. On Thursday, he confessed to his role in the cocaine trade in Copenhagen City Court. He got convicted of participating in the transfer of 4.4 kilos of cocaine to several people in the Copenhagen area and attempting to buy 1 kilo of cocaine. On a different kind of crime, 2 women remanded after stabbing man in the buttocks. The 2 women were brought before a judge in a Holbæk court and are remanded in custody until 9 of September. The incident happened Wednesday evening, where a man was stabbed in the buttocks and flown to hospital in a critical condition. The man is reported stable. Police suspect the altercation happened during a festive gathering, but have yet to question the victim. On a different story, 40,000 illegal puff bars seized at a warehouse. A tip in July led Copenhagen Vestegn police to find 40,000 illegal puff bars at a warehouse hotel, according to the Ministry of Taxation. A puff bar is a disposable e-cigarette containing nicotine liquid. The puff bars are declared illegal as there was unpaid excess duty on them and were seized by the Danish tax agency. On another stabbing story, a man arrested after stabbing in Brøndshøj. On this story, a man has been arrested after stabbing another man near Brøndshøj Square, Copenhagen police told TV2. Before the incident, the 2 had been fighting, after which one drew a knife. Both sustained injuries requiring treatment. Cheese recalled due to suspected listeria. Odenholt is recalling Brie and Camembert products under the brand Mon Ami Petit due to suspected listeria contamination. The recall concerns items produced before 23rd of June. Listeria can cause fever, muscle aches, nausea, and diarrhea. Customers are advised to discard or return the products. 75-year-old woman charged after avoiding fine. A 75-year-old woman has been charged with violating public order after She attempted to spit at a police patrol on Wednesday, according to Funen police. She was warned previously by officer not to cross red light. This happened in Vesterbro Odense, an offense that could have resulted in a 700 kroner fine. Now to Friday, 15th of August. On a new turn, the government is tightening reporting requirements for foreigners without legal stay. Foreigners without legal residence will in the future have to report daily to authorities, the government proposes in a new bill. Currently, deported individuals and rejected asylum seekers must report 3 times weekly. Immigration Minister Berg says the change will motivate by making life in Denmark harder for those without permit. Failure to report can still lead to fines or prison. On a different story, more people using Ozempic without public subsidy. A new health data shows that Danes are paying out of pocket for Ozempic in an increased number. The share sold without subsidy rose from under 1% in early 2024 to around 10% in early 2025. Possible reasons include patients not meeting subsidy criteria or using it for weight loss instead of diabetes. Ozempic contains semaglutide, also found in Wegovy. On crime, a 21-year-old found unconscious, police seek witness. A 21-year-old man was found with several head injuries outside Joe and the Jews, central Copenhagen, early Sunday morning. He remains in critical condition. On another case, 10-year-old approached by older man, witnesses sought. South and Southern Jutland police are seeking for witnesses after a 10-year-old girl was approached by an older man on her way home from school in Verde on Thursday afternoon. On another case, man convicted of rape and sextortion of 12 girls. Fyn police report that a 30-year-old man has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for raping and sextortion of 12 girls, aged 10 to 16. Events to impact Copenhagen traffic. The 2 major events that can impact traffic are Copenhagen Pride Parade and Ironman events, which takes place over the weekend. Police urge the public to check organizers' websites for updates. Police fire shot after armed robbery. A 57-year-old man arrested after an armed robbery in Roskilde, Skive municipality, is charged with attempted murder. He fired shots from his address before being arrested and police returned 1 shot. Government to cut coffee and chocolate tax, TV2 reports. The government plans to cut coffee and chocolate taxes by around 1 billion kroner in the next budget, raising to 2 billion kroner by 2029. Prices are not expected to drop sharply. 57-year-old man arrested after armed robbery. A man armed with a sawn-off, shotgun and large knife robbed a grocery store in Roskilde Thursday night. He threatened staff and customers before being arrested. 19-year-old remanded for deliberate car attack. A 19-year-old man is in custody for intentionally running over a 24-year-old man in Skålon. He has previous convictions for violence but denies the charge. Now back to the story of a Copenhagen jeweler charged with laundering 55 million kroner. A 28-year-old man has been charged with laundering money through gold imports and exports to Dubai. He was arrested at Copenhagen airport and allegedly converted large cash sums into gold to conceal their illegal origin. Now to the latest business updates. Copenhagen Pride posts million kroner deficit. Copenhagen Pride posted a deficit of nearly 1.7 million kroner in 2024 due to a major drop in sponsorship income from a budgeted 8.5 million to just to 4.4 million kroner. GLS opens new Danish center with hundreds of jobs. GLS new distribution center is in Roskilde, Zealand, employing 80 staff and 70 drivers initially, with room for significant expansion. Average summer house now costs 2 million kroner. The average price for a summer house in Denmark has risen steadily since 2020, now surpassing 2 million kroner for the first time. Pandora's market value drops by billions. Pandora's market value fell by almost 15 billion kroner by market close Friday due to an 18% share price drop, partly over uncertainty about US tariffs. That wraps up today's edition of Danish-InfoNews TV News. Don't miss the stories that matter: crime, politics, economy, and the moments that shape everyday life in Denmark. Subscribe now to get the latest updates straight to your feed before everyone else reads them. Stay informed. Stay ahead. Stay with Danish-InfoNews TV.